This is the Twin City News Around Town. A closer look at the people, places, and events around Batesburg, Leesville, Gilbert, and the Ridge. Presented by the Twin City News, Batesburg, Leesville's community journalism since 1925.
Well, when last we spoke, you were just beginning the live stream services, and you were gathering in the fellowship hall, and there was the shutdown. How's the health of your church, first of all, now 4 months removed from that?
I have to stop and think. We're in good health, I think. We haven't had, that I know of, we have not had any COVID patients in our congregation that I know of. We may have some in extended families or in circles of friends somewhere, but our congregation has been pretty well. We still have had many persons sending in their concerns, their requests for prayers and so on. We have not published those, but we continue to get those, and so I'm glad that now that we can offer those back in our worship services now, once we're off streaming every Sunday. I think that has done a lot to help a lot of people feel better, or at least feel like they're connected a little bit more. The financial health of the church is very good. We have not suffered much. We did, I think, at first, while we were scrambling to find ways that people could continue to make their offerings and so on, absent being here. But they have picked up on that, and we have found many, many more friends, visitors in Georgia, North Carolina, Virginia, who are watching, as a result of the streaming.
How is the spiritual health of your congregation? I mean, you get together every Sunday with people and you can hug and you can love on them directly. You haven't had the opportunity to do that, and even now the service is physically distanced. How do you feel like the spiritual health of your congregation is?
Well, I think it's still good because they keep saying, we want so much to get back together. So they miss it, but they know what they're missing. And, as long as they're saying, we want to get back, we want to have communion, we want to be able to do our baptisms, we have a confirmation class that's ready to be inducted, we want to get back and do that. Now, I take that to be real good spiritual health. That they are looking forward to the time when they can come back for all of these other activities that they've missed out on. I take that to be a good spiritual health sign. And
how many Sundays is this that you've now had some semblance of corporate worship?
We started June 14th, so this will be the third Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you said last week was light. There was about 30 people today. Mm-hmm. Going into this, what was your thought process? I mean, how did you come to thoughtfully, prayerfully saying, we're going to open the doors for corporate worship today?
Well, first of all, we were encouraged by our bishop. He had been issuing recommendations along and along about when to open or when not to open. So with his encouragement, we were able to do this. Our church council took the initiative in drafting things for us to do, for us to think about, things not to do. Our conference and our insurance company also kept us abreast of things that we want to be mindful of. We don't want to make other people sick. We certainly don't want to make our visitors sick by coming and being with us. So between all of that, we had good guidance and were able, in about 2 weeks' time, to turn things around and get the doors open.
And then I see you've got paper tape up. It's pretty much every other pew that's open for folks to sit.
It is.
And even now, those pews are few and far between occupied. As a pastor, how earnestly do you pray that, even though the pandemic is still raging, how earnestly do you pray that there's more people sitting in those pews?
I'm of two minds. I would like everything to be back the way it was, but I have to say that right now, everything is manageable. I don't feel like we're rushing things. We're taking it as we can. I think there are some people in our congregation who have no business coming back yet, because a number of them are elderly. They have preconditions, heart disease, cardiac problems, just a number of things that really would be risky. And I think they are taking good care of themselves at this point. They know good and well that they are susceptible. So at that point, I don't want them back yet. Mm-hmm. I try to call them when I can, or an email or whatever. And of course, they have the live streaming that they can, do. But until the air is clear, I just want them to stay home and take care of themselves.
It's a reality that a lot of folks, elderly folks, folks of a certain generation, are resistant to technology. And do you find that going to the live stream service actually has helped that learning curve amongst the congregation, in that you've got a lot of elderly folks who now are going, well, if I'm going to go to church, I got to learn about computers.
Yeah. My guess is that a lot of grandchildren have been contacted and counted on to help them. It has also helped me. It has helped our congregations to learn how to do electronic church. We didn't do electronic church before. And now, because of some of the people that we have who are gifted and who are professional at this, we've been able to kind of take that leap in quick leaps. And that has been very interesting. I'm going to have to write a journal about that experience, about being able to shuffle around in my house slippers and so on, because, you only see me from here up kind of thing. And, to be able to come in jeans or shorts or sandals, or what, that was nice, having that 1 hour on a Sunday morning. But now that we're back, we still have this feel of something different. And I have to train myself to look at the camera lens periodically to speak to our folks that are out there. That has been the biggest challenge.
The last story that we did before the paper closed down temporarily was a story called Keeping the Faith.
Yeah.
And I recall that in that story, you referenced Mr. Rogers.
Right.
In that particular sermon, that first Sunday on that Sunday morning, you referenced Mr. Rogers again, and I got to pan down here just a second. Check out the shoes on this guy.
Yeah, this is my Mr. Rogers
there it is.
moment. Yeah.
He's got his... Okay, so do you? I mean, he was a pastor, of course.
Yes.
So do you find that it's helpful sometimes, particularly as a pastor, to call on the wisdom of Mr. Rogers?
Absolutely. And I find that when I watch television, the news, interviews on CNN or whatever, I'm picking up now glimpses of what people are doing, looking where they are looking, how they are acting, what they must have to do to get set up to do their Zooms and streaming and all. That has been helpful to me, just personally, to be able to kind of learn some of that and to kind of practice it.
But I mean, from a theological standpoint, you've referenced Mr. Rogers both times.
Yeah.
I mean, he
Yes.
has so much to say about humanity and about the spiritual self, and also about how it is to live in a world with other people.
Yes.
And that is particularly important in this age in which we live in.
Well, my guess is that his catchphrase would be "All lives matter." Now, of course, black lives matter, brown lives matter, but all lives matter. And I think he would want it to be especially said that the aliens, the immigrants, the dreamers, all of these people that we are subjecting to little separate units where they're kind of hands off and stuff. He would say they all matter to
Right.
us, especially now. And we all really matter in ways to each other that we might not have thought before.
And I think his defining message, I mean, you don't have to watch very many episodes of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood to pick up the defining method or the defining message of Mr. Rogers. And I would argue it's the defining message of Christianity is a four-letter word. L-O-V-E. Love.
Yes, well put. Well put. He'd be pleased.
But I mean, if we take anything from our faith, and if we take anything from the wisdom of Mr. Rogers, it's that loving one another is, well, it's the commission, isn't it? It's the commandment.
We would say it is it. It is it.